Hello, deaf bikers, everyone out there. It's so great to see you guys here. And I wanted to say thank you to Convo for hosting this and showing the deaf and hearing community that we are deaf bikers. I want to introduce you to each of the people here, their names, where they're from. We're going to do a visual description for each person. So I'll start. I'm Sean Markel, and I'm from Maryland. I'm wearing a black shirt. I have short hair. I'm white. I'm sitting in a family room. And Les, I'm going to turn it over to you to introduce yourself.
All right. Hello, my name is Les Roberts. I'm from Arizona. I'm wearing a black bandana, orange Harley Davidson shirt. Background is kitchen cabinets because I have two shirts that are hanging out behind me.
All right. Going to turn it over to Kim.
Hello there. My name is Kimberly. Biker name is Sunkiss. And I have my hearing dog, Abba, who is a biker as well.
Aww,
they have their it's a black and white dog with sunglasses, and I have my deaf leather jacket, and I have my long pigtails.
All right. Well, where are you from? This is Sean.
I'm from Virginia.
All right. I'm going to turn it over to Justin.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Justin Wiener. JD. I'm a white male, short brown hair with a beard and a navy blue shirt, Gallaudet baseball navy blue shirt. I'm in my bedroom with a closet, and I have my Def Power leather cut behind me.
All right. So this is Sean. I wanted to have everyone share what deaf bikers means to you. So anyone want to jump in and share? Yeah, Les, go ahead.
All right, this is Les here. Deaf bikers means all deaf and hard of hearing biker group. And if they don't know who you are, they're curious on where you are, and they meet and want to learn to join the biker group. So we have to incorporate the deaf bikers, and that's how everyone will know who we are with that label.
And so Sean, anyone want to add? Yeah, this is Justin. So being a deaf biker means you're showing that we're deaf, and other people aren't going to look at us just as bikers, but we're deaf bikers. And the thing is, back in the olden days, people, when they think of deaf people, they think of deaf people not being able to drive, but times have changed. And a lot of people who can hear know that deaf people can ride a motorcycle. When they found out that we could actually ride a motorcycle, they're like, wow, they just can't believe it. And so it's something that we could be proud of.
And this is Kimberly here. And a deaf biker means you can be a female and a male. You can be riding a two-wheeler or a three-wheeler as well.
All right, this is Sean. So I'm going to pose this question to Justin and Kim, because I know that recently, 3 months ago, is in April, you guys, and there was another 3 other deaf people. So it's 5 of you guys all together. You guys had a rich experience riding your bikes from the East Coast. So Virginia, DC area, right? And you guys rode all the way out to Arizona, spent some time out there for a week, and then rode your bikes all the way back to the East Coast from Arizona. Can you tell me your experience? What was it like traveling across the country?
Justin here, JD's here. Well, first I just want to make sure I have a clear visualization. Kim had already left 1 week prior to the group going, the 4 of us guys. Kim was visiting her grandchildren, her daughter in Arizona, so she had left on her own. So it was the 4 of us. We ended up meeting 3 friends in Tennessee, and they kind of were out early. They had a head start. That morning I went to go catch up with them in Tennessee that day. So I rode for 18 hours, about 1,000 miles. And then I pulled over at a gas station to go sleep.
Wow.
And you had a whole bunch of deaf bikers right there sleeping over. And headed out in the morning, and then we went to New Mexico. I will never forget. It's the Gallup, right before the Gallup Mountains, and it is cold. Those temperatures drop from like 80, 75 all the way down to 42 to 48 degrees. It is cold. And so we decided that we were going to go ahead and get a hotel and wake up, start fresh. It was still cold, but the temperatures actually, once we got down from the mountain, it started warming up, and we didn't realize the temperature drop. And then a week later, Kim joined back with us, to the five of us, and we headed back. Kim, I'll turn it over to you so you can explain how your experience was.
Yeah. And she was alone. Yeah. So I was so worried about you. This is Sean. Kim, you made it to Arizona safely. And when you got there, I was so relieved. I actually flew. I didn't end up riding with you guys, but I flew with my wife. All right, Kim, you're back. Good deal. So I flew out there to Arizona and I met you guys, and I was so glad you were safe and made it there. Okay. So tell me about your experience biking out there by yourself.
This is Kim here. Yes. So first of all, I wanted to meet with my grandchildren. They live in Arizona, which was only about 30 minutes away from the Deaf Bikers event, which I have my tag right here. I was really excited to see them, so I went ahead and did a head start, and everyone was worried about me because I'm deaf. I'm a woman, and I was on my Ninja bike, which is a fast and powerful bike, not my Harley Davidson, which I figured, I could do it. It started raining the first 2 days, and I had arrived 3 days prior, so I started, I was good. I had my helmet. Water was on my helmet, and I couldn't really see much. I could only see the semi trucks, pink lights, and that was pretty
Ooh.
much it. But I went ahead and I was driving about
Oh,
85 miles per hour, and I could see a truck that actually fell, and I was still ended up going and passing them and filled up at the gas station. It was still raining, and it finally started to clear up, and I stayed in a hotel because it was just so cold and wet. My shoes were soaked, my clothes were soaked, but it's fine. I ended up sleeping overnight in the hotel, got back on the road, and started driving again. And it wasn't until I hit Flagstaff, 9 p.m, it's really dark. They don't have any street lights. You could only see the lines in the street, and you could only see those three dots. If are on the curb, then you'll see the other bumps, the other dots on the road.
wow.
And it was so cold trying to go and drive. And then I got there about 7 p.m. to my daughter's house. I couldn't see anything, but it was
Wow.
fun. It was a thrill, and it was definitely worth it.
All right. This is Sean. So, Kim, in my opinion, if it's raining, one of the things that I always suggest is to pull over and not ride. I always think of safety first. So, pull over to the side of the road. So, what do you think about that? Is that something that you normally do, or you would do, is just pulling over to the side of the road, waiting for the rain to clear, and then going forward? And can you tell me why you decided to keep going through the rain? Did you feel confident driving in the rain at that time, or?
Because it had rained for 2 days straight. And then also, if I wanted to pull over, where am I going to go? I'm going to have to stay in a hotel for 2 days. What was the point? I already have experience driving in the rain,
Yeah.
growing up, so I felt I was okay with it.
Oh, I hate driving in the rain. That's just something that makes me so nervous. I always think safety first, but definitely appreciate you sharing your experiences. And it was wonderful that you made it. You went to Arizona, came back to the East Coast. What a great experience. Kim.
Yes, but going back, it was actually, it took me about a day or so, 1.5 days. I arrived at Virginia and then stayed overnight in a
Wow.
hotel, and then the other 3 or 4 individuals, I was the only one who's actually stayed into a hotel. But I was just exhausted.
Yeah, this is JD. You're right. So we ended up leaving Arizona, and there was five of us, and we went back, drove by Oklahoma, and we ended up going into two groups, splitting, because one of the groups wanted to go to a northern route, hit I-70, and I'd rather stay on I-40 because of the weather. It's a lot cooler, and the southern route, I-70, is a lot cooler. So we left. The two people went the northern route. The three of us went on I-40, and we continued on our trek. And this other guy that was in the group wanted a break because he had another 2-3 hours left. So I only had an hour. So I kept going and ended up going home, made it all the way over there. And that experience, I got to tell you, was so different than anything I had experienced, because I rode my bike on a long trip to Sturgis in South Dakota. And I went over there last year, and just like what Kim just did solo, I did the same thing last year, and it was amazing. And this trip with the group was different. I'd have to say there's such a big difference with both of these trips. I enjoyed
Yes.
both. It was great. But what was a lot safer was the group, just having that communication and support from all the other group members, and just all of us agreeing and knowing what we're going to do. Doing it solo is a lot harder. You have to make your own decisions on when to stop, when to do everything, but you don't have that support. So it's definitely different.
And this is Kimberly here. To add on to that, as a deaf power biker, it's a bike club, and it's a riding club, and we're located in Arizona. They have their own patch, but one moment, this is the interpreter, the screen is freezing. If we all decide to go have a trip or have some type of get together, we'll all have our deaf power cuts on, and it's more of like a brother and sisterhood that we get to meet and greet and hang out.
Oh, thank you for sharing such a rich experience that both of you guys had doing that road trip. I haven't gone that far. I've only gone local trips.
JD here, what's your farthest trip?
Oh, I'd say I've been on the East Coast, so I went up to New York and then just back down. That's pretty much it. I've also gone to the Ozark Lake, Missouri, down south. So I rode my bike down there. I think that was the longest trip that I've ever been on, and then came back.
JD here. Will you ever consider taking a trip to the West Coast?
Oh yeah, yeah, that'd be really nice. I would love to do that, but I don't think my wife is really into riding these long trips. So I might just do a solo trip, or maybe just join a group. I wouldn't mind doing that too. That'd be fun, taking a long trip out west, just to check that off my bucket list. I'd love doing that.
JD here. Yeah, I've been thinking about that.
All right. So Les, let me ask you another question. Back in April, you were the chairperson for the Arizona Bike Week, which was an amazing experience. So tell me why you were so passionate, and why you wanted to set up Bike Week. There were so many people that went out there. So let me know what sparked your interest in hosting this. Tell me more about it.
This is Les here. Yeah, I started about 2 years ago in Lurap, where we wanted to host a get together here to socialize and ride. And we wanted to show that Arizona does have, what we have here. And we started getting a little more acknowledgement. And then we had an event in Arkansas and Ozarks.
That's where I met
That's where I
you.
met you, Sean.
That's right,
Yes.
2019.
And then they offered me to go for the LDR, long distance rider, which is 1,500 miles within 36 hours. And they said, well, why don't we just do those at the same time? So I went ahead and did my trip, and I made it. And I saw that there was a deaf get together for the first time that I've actually experienced, and chatted there, met some bikers, and they suggested that I, go ahead and host a deaf event here in Arizona. And so it had been in discussion for a while, and I finally decided, really, it was about 2 years prior to that event. I had been thinking about it, and then I added a Facebook page, added the name, and then finally decided a date and a camp. And it was a successful event, so I guess I had good timing.
This is Sean. I think you've done such a good job with your program and going to different towns in Arizona, going to the north and the west, east, and the south, really covering all the areas in Arizona. Do you agree, JD, Kim?
Definitely. JD
Yeah?
here, definitely. Kimberly here. Yes, it was so fun. It was such a champ event.
Biking in Arizona is just the best, isn't it? It's
Got my
beautiful.
patches. Yeah, this is Les here. Speaking of Flagstaff, yeah, it was so cold riding through there. And
Yeah.
then, once it got to the hotter states, we would all take our cuts off and had shirts actually made. I don't know if you can see this behind me.
Sean saying, why don't you go ahead and show us? Bring it a little closer. Right. So that was in Cottonwood. It's a beautiful camp. Nothing for miles around the camp.
I
Wow.
also wanted to show, this is Les here, patches that my wife made and had some ideas from the deaf group, no hearing sponsors, but my wife made these mugs.
Oh, that's nice. That's a beautiful mug. I like that. That's amazing. This is Sean.
And then this is the patches.
This is Sean. That's great. Hey, can you tell me why you named this coyote ugly? And what's the sign? What's your sign for a coyote? So why did you end up, I'm just wondering why you ended up naming it Coyote
Well,
Ugly Bike Week.
Lurup and I had been throwing out some ideas and had been researching logo designs and names. And I started looking over and I didn't know, what was actually related to Arizona. I didn't want to think of anything random. I wanted something that actually spoke to the state of Arizona. And I figured, looking up some pictures and we figured, well, we have a lot of coyotes here. We were like, all right. And then I figured, well, why don't we add the Roadrunner? Why don't we add that? Wiley,
Mm.
the Wiley Roadrunner. So I figured, why don't we just add that? And then I looked at some images and it actually linked and we found a logo that, actually fit in with the character of Arizona. And you can see a picture. I don't know if you can see it, but the coyote is actually eating.
Oh, this is Sean. Yeah, I remember. I saw that. I have a shirt and I saw that in my shirt. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the coyote is actually eating a roadrunner and a real life survivor. So I just figured it with the irony of that, and I just figured, why don't we just use that theme and run with it? And we figured, all right, all is good.
Such a nice design. Who designed it? This is Sean.
This is Les here. Yeah, we just picked a design. There was a lot of graphics, and we just kind of mixed and matched some pictures and paid a tattooist to design a logo, and then we decided on this one based on the different pictures that we had shared together.
Wow, this is Sean. Thanks for sharing so much. I know throughout the United States, there's a lot of deaf biker groups all throughout the United States. So there's Eastern Deaf Bikers, it's Eastern Maryland, DC, Pennsylvania, Virginia, all in that region. There's Deaf Power, right? And there's 3 or 4. JD, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, this is JD. It's national, but they also have chapters. We have 5 total chapters.
So, yeah, this is
And
Sean. What are the 5?
so we have Texas, Tennessee, Washington, Northeast, and Virginia.
Wow, this is Sean. Wow, they are really growing, aren't they?
And this is Kimberly here. They have international as well.
Nice, nice. And you're out, right? Focusing on the Western region, Arizona, right, Les?
Yeah, this is Les. We're the Grand Canyon Deaf Bikers.
Oh, let me see. Let me see your vest. Let me see your logo. This is Sean.
Yeah, this is Les here. This is my my Grand Canyon Deaf Bikers of Arizona, and then you can see all my patches at the bottom.
Oh, that's nice.
The DBA logo.
This is JD. Yeah, I got that too.
Ozarks.
Yeah.
And this is Sean here, Deaf Bikers of America, DBA. I think of them as the, bikers headquarters.
It's national.
Um,
This is
and
Kim.
then, below you have the different patches where, you've full deaf throttle. I believe that's in Missouri. They hosted an event there, right?
No, it's nationwide. DFT is all over the place. This is JD. Yeah, they have a men's only group, but they also have a women's group as well. It's women only that they have it. And you just want them to have their own zone where they can talk. But DBA is anyone can come in, whoever you are. And Deaf Power is nothing to do. It's not affiliated with DBA. They have their own group, your own commitment that you have to go to the organization. They have their meetings every month, which is completely separate. RC has RC
What
has
is
its own thing as
RC?
well. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, it's the riding club. So riding club, so they have MC, which is a motorcycle club, and then riding club, which is a RC. So the motorcycle club is where people just get into different events, but the riding club is something that people just go out and ride and just enjoy, just like EDB and GCDB. You don't really get into it completely. You don't have to go on all the meetings or anything, but it really is based on your cut and everything else. And that starts getting a little bit more complicated. But some riding clubs have officers, so you basically are committed to go a certain time. But there's some clubs that you just go out and you just meet other people and you just want to enjoy yourself, and you just basically want to see other bikers who want to go out and ride. And then you have a captain, it has to be recognized, and you have a location, you figure out where you're going to go ride, and then you go ride. So there's a lot of different things that are out there, but DBA is the one that hosts every 5 years. They host an event at Sturgis, and it's the headquarters. The next one's going to be 2025, not 2026. I just want to make sure that's clear. It's 2025.
And this is Sean here. Yeah. So they meet every 5 years,
Yeah,
right?
it's going to be at Sturgis, 2025. So yeah.
And this is Les signing here. I hope I think Kimberly had something that she wanted to say.
Oh, you're freezing up. This is JD. Oh, go ahead. I think you're back. This is JD. Kim? Sean saying she's still freezing up.
And JD saying, yes, Sturgis is South Dakota.
So I'm just going to spell it out. This is Kim. So Sturgis.
And this is Sean here. Yes, it's in South Dakota. Sturgis is in South Dakota. Man, your screen is freezing a little bit, but I'll go ahead. We'll hold off on that unless you can go ahead and say what you were about to say.
Yeah, this is Les. I just hope each state, each motorcycle group hosts an event every year. So you could just ride around and go to the different events around the United States, meet different deaf bikers, and just see the environment that they're in, just what their state has to offer and what it looks like, just the animals, the road, the history over there. Just look at the scenery in each state.
And this is Sean here. The bikes that honestly, biking has been my best meditation. It's where I can let go mentally and kind of meditate. If I'm at home, I got a lot of thoughts on my mind, but once I'm on my bike,
Yes.
I'm just looking out on the road, thinking about my safety. All of my problems are out on hold. So honestly, biking is my best medicine. I don't know about what you guys think.
This is JD. Yes.
You get to there's hiking involved, you're talking to your group, there's different museums on the road that you're able to stop and see, and then 3D, you're able to pretty much look at the clouds, look everywhere. You can see it from the clouds all the way to the asphalt. If you're in the car, you don't see what's below you, you just see what the windows are around you. Exactly. So I mean, I don't know, I'm glad that you guys are in agreement with me.
People this is JD, we call people in cars, they're caged, you're on a bike, you're just completely free. You're not in a cage. You got the sky and the earth below you, and you're in DC, and you could look at the helicopters, you could see everything that's all around you. But when you're in a car, you can't see what's above you at all. You miss out so much. In DC, it's so busy and you see everything that's going around, which is such a cool thing.
And this is Les here. In some states, you feel like you're a little bit caged in because of what
Mhm.
they have around you. But in Arizona, it's so
Yeah.
open, you can see far distances. So it varies across states to state. Some places have hills, some places have mountains, animals. It's just very interesting to, and I enjoy seeing different states and not seeing the same thing over and over again. So it's nice to get out there
Yes.
and
This
change
is
the scenery a
Kim.
bit.
And I just want to add too, Grand Canyon is amazing. Oh, just looking at how vast it is and how big it is, you just feel like you're just going right in there. It's the best experience.
Exactly. This is less here. You see it's really you have a long distance and then you see that big dip in the Grand Canyon and then you see that sun out in the distance. It's beautiful.
So this is Sean. I want to ask you guys a question and turn it over to you. How long have you experienced or had experienced riding a bike? For me, been about since I was 18 that I was on a bike, but how long have you guys ridden a bike?
This is JD here. I got my license last year, which means at
No.
27.
No.
I
And you took that long trip?
Yep. Yeah, I think it was May 12th, May 14th,
Dude.
something around then. And then I had contacted one of my friends and got I just passed my 1.5 year mark like a little bit ago.
Good for you.
And
You've learned fast. Do you enjoy it?
yeah, I have a project coming over. I'm going to be going to Houston. So I'm looking forward to that and that long trip.
And this is Kim. I just recently got licensed last year. So I didn't take any motorcycle classes or at all. I was self-taught and I kept going to the DMV and I said, look, I'm not paying $300 because I've already had experience growing up. I rode a motorcycle and I stopped for 30 years. And then just recently I decided about a year, 2 months ago, I decided to get back to riding and I got my license in 2 months. And then I went to Sturgis and I rode a Harley Davidson. It was a 2020 Road King that I rode and I rented it for a week. Oh, I got to tell you, I enjoyed it. It was great. It was just, there was hogs everywhere. And then I went over there and it was so much fun. Rode hogs everywhere. And then I rode my 2021 Ninja and they kept saying, because they were like, you got to go, you have your bike. And that's what I went with.
And this is Sean here. Yeah, the Ninja it has a different seat where you're more on your seat.
That's right. So because you're riding a sport, it's not a gas tank and it's not gonna be fully dressed. So it's a lot more challenging to ride that Ninja.
Les here. How long have you had your license?
Uh,
And this
since
is
not,
Les here since 1994. I had an old bike that I trained on, and then I got my Omaha, and then a Ninja 65. I rode it to
okay.
Chicago. It took about 3.5 hours. I came back, and it was pouring rain, which was how I started my experience traveling long distances, long trips. And now I have my Harley Davidson, my Road King, which is a little bit better.
Wow. This is Sean. I just want to say anybody who wants to learn how to ride, you guys are welcome. Take classes, take your test, get licensed, reach out to us. We're here. And I believe that deaf bikers in America, I would say right now, we're probably over what, 2 to 3,000 strong, you think?
JD here. Yeah,
More than
it's
that,
got to be
right?
more than that. Some of them aren't recognized. They don't want the recognition, but so we definitely are over those numbers.
Yes, yes. So thanks to everyone for such a great discussion. We're out of time, so we're going to have to wrap up. But again, I wanted to thank you all for sharing your experiences. Thanks to Convo for hosting this event. All right, thanks.
And thank you very much for this is Les here for